And Kuhl will shoot 2. Kuhl, a freshman out of Old Bridge, New Jersey. And she misses the front end.
A lot of new players this year for St. Peter's and Coach Mitchell, and so just finding ways to play together and work together. All new faces on this roster mostly this year.
Knocks down the second. Kuhl was someone who talked a lot about Coach Mitchell's passion and energy as one of the reasons she came to St. Peter's. And it makes a difference, you know, when you're thinking about what school to go to and you're getting recruited, that passion and energy by a coach makes a big difference, Scott.
Of course, a basketball season is very long, Austin. It's a lot of hard work, a lot of practice, a lot of hours goes into the season. And so to have a coach that's that passionate to help you get through this long season and keep you motivated, that's a huge factor to look for in a coach.
Correa. There's Sophia Nolan, the other half of the set of twins. It's Unique Drake from the corner.
Nice across the court pass to find Drake in the corner. Drake showing us not only can she handle the ball and find the open player with her nice behind the back passes, but hey, I can knock down some long distance threes as well.
A 24-point lead now for the Johnnies. Hitting on all cylinders. And finally, St. Peter's responds as Taylor Abraham, the freshman, gets a bucket.
Another new face for St. Peter's on the roster. And right there, a nice quick release as soon as she caught it. And great job to knock it down.
Just 2 returning players have been on the court today for St. Peter's. A lot of turnover on this roster, and that makes a big difference when you're having a hard time making sure the team gels and works together.
Absolutely, a huge difference, and it's only game 2 for St. Peter's as well, and a lot of new faces on the roster, and so they're still building and trying to figure things out.
And meanwhile, at the other end of the court, we see Peoples continue to cash in offensively. 13 points for the transfer. Nice move underneath from Icanazio, but again, having a tough time finishing. That's been a problem all afternoon for the Peacocks, as Peoples now has 15 points in the first half.
You can see now St. Peter's getting a bit tired, and you can see St. John's just in better condition right now and able to run the floor still towards the end of the second quarter without being tired.
As Abraham gets a bucket. That's one thing that St. Peter's said they were working on, especially during the pandemic. A lot of players were talking about how they're working out off the floor, trying to get conditioning in by running, but it's just different when you get on a basketball court with a team like St. John's.
And it's so important, and you can see St. John's, they are well conditioned. You can see they are not tired as they even end this first half.
It is an overwhelming lead for the Johnnies, 46-20. They're all over St. Peter's. It's halftime from Carnesecca Arena. Here's Salawu. Drops it off. And the finish, that time from Sky Castro.
Castro getting rewarded for running the floor that time.
Well, you two share a name. She had quite the time during the pandemic. She talked about some of the baking and cooking she did, specifically lasagna. And she also made these cupcakes. Were you, Sky, up to the same sort of thing over the pandemic?
Yeah, to be honest, I don't want to say yes just because we have the same name, but yeah, Austin, you know, I was really stepped my game up in the kitchen during the pandemic. I've been cooking as well as baking, not so much baking, but Sky, I can tell, on the floor and off the floor, she's been working hard, I can see, and always it was a positive part of the pandemic, being able to try new things during the break.
Definitely had a lot of free time. Was able to get some more conditioning in. Some of the St. Peter's players said they were doing some conditioning. I was probably a little more in that camp than the cooking camp, but Hey, you can only do what you can do. I'm not exactly the best cook on the planet.
I can imagine, though, with St. Peter's, they'd all have to do extra conditioning, because I can imagine Sky Castro has been cooking and baking for the entire team, bringing in nice snacks to the locker room, and so forcing the St. Peter's group to work out even harder on the floor.
And Salawu back to the free throw line. Free throw attempts number 5 and 6 coming up for the junior. Transferred from Miles Community College in one game last year against Bismarck Community College. She had 23 free throw attempts. You don't see that all that frequently, Sky.
That shows a lot. When you just look at the stat sheet and you see someone has that many attempts at the foul line, that literally tells a lot about that player, that one stat sheet. That just shows that is a hard-working, determined player that's by any means necessary going to find a way to get some points on the scoreboard for her team. Whether it's a field goal, if not, she's going to get to the free throw line. And I have a lot of respect for those type of players that are not afraid to attack the rim.
And you were a guard. What would you try to do to draw fouls from time to time?
I said it a lot during this game. Even if you're out of control, Austin, and even if your ball handling skills is not the best, I'm going to find a way to get an open lane by any means to get to the rim, even if I'm out of control. And that time right there, Clegg a little bit out of control, but again, found a way to get the ball to the rim.
And she will shoot 2. The Johnnies just 6 for 13 from the free throw line today, and that's something that they'll need to improve come Big East play.
Absolutely. Every free attempt at the charity stripe matters, especially in conference play. And so I am sure something Coach Tartamella is going to make sure his girls focus on tomorrow in practice, knocking down those pressure free throws.
And the Peacocks with a full timeout called here. And we will step aside. It's all St. John's, 64-31. Well, welcome back onto the campus of Manhattan College. It's the Jaspers who have a 16-point lead, and we're joined by Emma Bedeker, former Jasper basketball player.
Hello, thank you for having me.
Yeah, of course, we're happy to have you on. So what have you been up to since you graduated?
Yeah, so I graduated in 2020, which was unfortunately the COVID year. But I'm still in New York right now. I'm going to grad school at Columbia University for sports management. So still staying in sports, and then working for a startup right now with female sneakers. Shout out Mula Kicks. So definitely still very passionate about women's sports and staying within that realm.
Any idea what you want to do in sports management?
No. The goal is one day to eventually be a GM of an NBA team. But
there you go.
So that's
Shoot
the
high, right?
Yes, that's the big goal. But just doing all the steps before then right now.
Well, let's take you back to your time at Manhattan. What are some of your greatest memories with the basketball program
here?
Oh
my gosh. There were so many great memories at Manhattan College, and especially coming back now, I'm like, oh my gosh, like this was really some of the best moments of my life, truthfully. I have to say the biggest thing was the people. I still, seeing all my old teammates now, seeing all my old coaches, just truthfully, makes my heart so happy. So while basketball was great, we had, from my freshman year to my senior year, such tremendous growth. I have to say by far, the thing that sticks out in my mind the most is the people of Manhattan College, and specifically the basketball team.
Well, let's talk about this game now. 16-point edge.
Yeah.
You were a guard, right?
I was a guard back in the day.
Well, how about Dee Davis, point guard, running the show, knocking down threes?
No, Dee Davis was my freshman year. My senior year was a freshman. And Dee and I just had a great bond. She's as great as Dee is on the court, off the court, if that's even possible, from her playing abilities. She's a phenomenal, phenomenal athlete, and even more so a person. So super, super happy to see her killing it, and all the girls as well. Obviously the score speaks for itself, so proud alum in the stands.
Do you have any moves like that? Two-step to the basket,
You know,
underhand?
I think Dee would take me pretty easy in one-on-one, I gotta say. So.
All right, well, we'll step aside when we come back. Second half is on its way.